All right, you did it. You landed the gig behind the bar. Congrats. But now, your first shift is staring you down. Don't sweat it. We're going to get you ready to absolutely crush it. Think of this as your crash course. Everything you need to know to walk in looking like a pro and walk out with a pocket full of cash. Ready? Let's dive in.
Okay, before we even touch a bottle, let's get one thing straight. You might think this job is all about knowing a million cocktail recipes, but here's the real secret. The thing that separates the pros from the amateurs. It's mostly about people. The drinks? Yeah, they're important. But the real business is hospitality. You're not just slinging drinks, you're hosting a party. Get that in your head, and trust me, you're already halfway there. So here's what we're going to cover. First, welcoming you to the bar and setting up for success. Then we'll hit the core cocktail techniques, get a handle on your spirits, talk about the art of service, and then your journey begins. Let's get right into it. Setting up for success, your mise en place. You know, a great shift doesn't just happen by accident. It starts way before the first guest walks through the door. Chefs have this term, mise en place. It just means everything in its place. For us, that means your limes are cut, juices are full, your station is spotless. Seriously, this prep work is what's going to make your shift smooth and profitable instead of a total stress fest. Yeah, look at this. This isn't just a bar. It's your command center. It's your cockpit. Every single thing from that bottle of vodka to the last lemon twist has a home for a reason. And that reason is speed. Because when it's Saturday night and you're 3 deep at the bar, you can't be thinking about where stuff is. You just have to know. It's all muscle memory, and it all starts with setting up your station the exact same way every single time. Okay, let's do a quick tour of your new office. Right in front of you, that's your speed rack, or, well, this is where your workhorse liquors live. Next door, the ice bin. This is the heart of the whole operation. Up top, you've got your drain board for glasses and your garnish tray, lemons, limes, cherries, all right there. And then, the unsung hero, the 3-compartment sink for wash, rinse, sanitize. Learning this layout so you don't even have to look, that's your secret weapon. And this is probably the most important slide in the whole deck. Work, clean, always. I can't say it enough. This isn't just about looking nice. It's about professionalism. It's about respect for your guests, for your coworkers, and for the next person coming on shift. You clean as you go. You wipe up spills immediately. You leave your bar looking better than you found it. It's not optional. It's just what we do. All right, section 3, the core cocktail techniques. Building, stirring, and shaking. Your station's looking good, so now it's time for the main event, actually making drinks. Look, forget all that fancy flair you've seen in movies for now. 99% of bartending comes down to mastering just 3 basic moves: building, stirring, and shaking. And here's why there are 3 different methods. Each one does something different to the drink. You build a drink right in the glass when it's something simple, like a highball. You stir a drink when it's all spirits, like a martini, because you want it silky smooth and ice cold without getting all foamy. And you shake a drink when you've got juice or cream or egg whites, stuff that needs to be roughed up a bit to combine properly and get that nice frothy texture. So first up, building a drink in the glass. This is as easy as it gets. The perfect example is a rum and Coke. You just grab your glass, fill it with ice, pour in the rum, top it with Coke, boom, done. There's no shaker, no strainer, nothing. It's all about speed and efficiency, which is exactly what you need when you're slammed. Okay, now for stirring. This is for the heavy hitters, the cocktails that are all booze, like a Manhattan or a classic Negroni. Here, the goal is twofold. Get it super cold and dilute it just a little bit with the melting ice to open up those complex flavors. What you don't want are a bunch of tiny air bubbles making it look cloudy. Stirring is all about creating a perfectly clear, velvety smooth drink. It's pure elegance. And last but not least, shaking. This is where the energy comes in. If your recipe has citrus juice or dairy or an egg white, anything that doesn't like to mix easily, you gotta shake it. And I mean shake it hard. Shaking is a triple threat. It chills, it dilutes, and, this is the key part, it aerates. It whips air into the drink, giving it that light, frothy texture that makes something like a margarita so good. Glassware 101, the right tool for the job. So you've made a perfect drink. Great. But if you serve it in the wrong glass, well, it's kind of like putting a fancy sports car engine in a beat-up old truck. It just doesn't work. The glass is part of the drink. It affects how it looks, smells, and even tastes. Let's look at the must-haves. These 2 are your bread and butter. On the one hand, you've got the short, sturdy rocks glass. This is for spirits served neat or on the rocks. Pretty self-explanatory, right? Then you have the tall, skinny highball glass. It's designed for mixed drinks with soda or juice, like a vodka soda. The tall shape actually helps keep the bubbles in your soda from going flat too quickly. See? Science. Then you've got your fancy stemmed glassware. That classic V shape is a cocktail glass, often called a martini glass. See that long stem? It's not just for looks. It's so your warm hand doesn't heat up your ice-cold drink. And the wide-rimmed margarita glass? Well, that wide rim is the perfect landing pad for a nice, thick salt rim. With glassware, it's always form follows function.
Okay, new section. Understanding your spirits, the building blocks of every drink. We've got our station, we've got our techniques. Now, what are we actually pouring? Staring at a back bar with hundreds of bottles can be overwhelming, but it's actually pretty simple. Almost everything boils down to two main categories.
Here's the breakdown. You have spirits and you have liqueurs. Spirits are the base of the drink. They're the main event. Think vodka, gin, rum, tequila, whiskey. Liqueurs, on the other hand, are the supporting actors. They're basically spirits that have been sweetened and flavored with stuff like fruit, spices, or cream. They're used to modify the drink and add flavor. The easiest way to think about it, the spirit is the steak, the liqueur is the seasoning. And these right here, these are the essentials you'll find in every single speed rack on the planet. You've got vodka, your neutral base, gin, which is basically vodka infused with botanicals like juniper, rum, made from sugarcane, tequila from the agave plant, and whiskey, made from grains. Oh, and triple sec, which is an orange-flavored liqueur. Seriously, with just these 6 bottles, you can probably make 90% of the drinks people will order. All right, Section 5, the art of service, bringing the 65% to life. Remember that quote from the beginning, that this job is 65% people skills? Well, we've talked a lot about the other 35%. Now let's get into the part that really matters. This is where you go from being a person who makes drinks to being a bartender. This is how you build regulars and make real money. And it starts with 3 simple, non-negotiable rules. 1, be on time. And in this business, on time means 15 minutes early, period. 2, look good. Come in clean, neat, and looking like a professional. And 3, feel good, or at least act like it. Leave your problems at the door and bring a positive attitude. It sets the tone for your entire shift. Okay, a guest sits down at your bar. The clock is ticking. What do? Step 1, acknowledge them. Immediately. Even if you're slammed, just a quick look, a nod, something that says, I see you. Step 2, drop a napkin or a coaster in front of them. This is the universal sign for, you're in my queue, I'll be right with you. It's huge. Then, when you do get to them, make eye contact, smile, and actually listen to what they're saying. These little things are what make people feel welcome. So, let's talk about a tough situation, because I guarantee you this will happen. A customer at your bar is clearly intoxicated. They're slurring their words, they're stumbling a bit. What do? The answer is not up for debate. Responsible service is the law. Your number one job is to keep people safe. You have to politely but firmly refuse to serve them any more alcohol. Offer them some water, maybe suggest some food. This is not just a good idea, it's your legal responsibility. There are things called dram shop laws, which mean you and the bar can be sued if you overserve someone and they hurt themselves or someone else. So yeah, checking IDs and knowing when to say no isn't just part of the job, it is the job. And that brings us to our last section. Your bartending journey begins. It's last call. We've gone through setting up your bar, making the drinks, serving people with a smile, and even handling the hard stuff. Let's wrap this up. So, the shift's over, the bar is spotless, everything is restocked for the next day. You made it. But the work is never really done, is it? Because this is a craft. Every single shift is a chance to get better, to learn something new. You're not just pouring liquids into a glass, you're creating an experience for people. So, the only question left is, what kind of experience are you going to create tomorrow?